All right. Welcome to the number one faith based motivational and inspirational broadcast platform in the country. Of course, as you can see and as you can tell, we have our special guest here with us on today, Mr. Paul Hopp, and he is one of our featured authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Good afternoon, Paul. How are you?
Hey, Kevin, doing good. Coming at you from Phoenix, Arizona. We're all pretty excited to be back in the double digits. I don't even think we're going to hit 90 degrees today.
Oh my goodness! And you know what? I was liking you until you said that, man. I tell you because here in this area it's cold, and it seems like we have bipolar weather. You know, it's cold one day and hot the next, and cold the next, and hot the next. Well, enough of that. I am going to ask you to do me a kind favor live on the GMAP Broadcast Network for our viewers and listeners on today. I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from. Who is Paul Hopp?
Paul Hopp is the author of Deer Park. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. And Kevin, you should feel a little better because it's cloudy here today. Now, growing up in the Midwest, I know it's cloudy there a lot. So we're a little gloomy today. I'm proud of this book. I worked on it a long time. Phrase that stay, there's an old question. How many people does it take to paint a picture? Well, it takes two, one to paint it and one to tell him when he's done. This book was, I could rewrite this thing forever. It's something I've worked on a long time. I'm very proud of it. It's a different approach to a story. Starts out a little rough with some, the horror part of it. The Virgil Johnson is not a nice guy, and my goal with the whole book was to create this character, this despicable character that everybody despises him for good reason, and I put you inside their heads, both the killer's head and the victim, the last victim's, the father's inside his mind, and I use a phrase. Placing you inside the minds of both killer and victim leaves no mystery as to what's upcoming. The mystery lies within the reasons and lessons of their thoughts and actions. And you kind of see how these things came about and the transition. And it really is a story of redemption. So at the end there's a strong spiritual undertone. And I ask my readers at the end. The first question I'll ask them is, "Do you hate Virgil Johnson?" Nobody's yet has said yes. I still hate him. One woman, she says, "No, I don't hate him. I still would have killed him though."
Oh, but
It's a different perspective on things. And the beginning of it, the rougher part is pretty much a setup so that you don't expect what's coming at you in the end.
wow. Well, I know that kind of answers my next question. And of course, I was going to have you tell us a little bit about the book, but I'm so glad that you dived in and told us a little bit about it. I know that we have some great viewers and listeners who in fact, they're going to want to show their love, care, concern, and support for you and go out and purchase this book and have it as a part of their bookshelf, their archive, so they can share it with their family and friends. What is the process for them to do so? How can this book be purchased?
Several ways. You can there is a website, deerparknovel.com. You can go there and on the bottom say buy the book. You can go to Amazon, go to their book sections. If you just Google Deer Park, there's so many of them. There's a park called Deer Park in every state in the country. There's bottled water. You're not going to find it anywhere. If you Google Paul Anthony Hopp's Deer Park, it'll come up that way. But Amazon's got it. Barnes and Noble's got it. You can buy it internationally if you're in the UK or different countries. I hope they translate it for the right countries, but I haven't seen that part yet. But it's pretty easy to get. The website, the Facebook page, Deer Park, Amazon's page, Barnes and Noble. Again, Deer Park can be a lot of different references, but this is Deer Park. It's a hunting camp in Kentucky where most of it takes place.
Well, I'm so grateful for that. And of course, what if in fact somebody wanted to reach out and touch base with you and talk to you on a more individual basis to find out a little bit more about this publication, about you as an author, what would be the process in order for them to connect with you?
Several ways, several ways. The Facebook page, Deer Park, the website, Deer Park Novel, also has a tab for my bio on there. At the end of the bio is an email address, paulanthonyhop at gmail.com. I check it a few times a week and, love talking about it. I think anybody that's worked on something as long as I worked on this, they love talking about it as we're talking about it now, Kevin.
Wow. Well, I'm grateful for that. Now, you know as well as I do that we are a role model to someone around the world, whether we like it or not. Someone is
Correct.
always paying attention to our every step in our journey. If someone was looking at you today and they said to themselves, I wonder what I can do to get myself on track and do and follow my dreams and do kind of similar to what Paul has done with his publication and follow his dreams. What words of encouragement would you have to share with an individual like that today?
Writing is not as easy as you might think, as I used to think. Um, I wrote this over the years, and you put it down. I was a single dad, stayed at home, put the kid in school. I'd go home and write, and great period of time, and being a single dad nurturing an infant. But for me, it was kind of good therapy. What I learned was I was jumping tenses. I was going from past to present, and the price you pay to not work on something every day straight. Um, and then you get into the editing and you learn about you know, passive voice. And I read stuff. I went to some authors speaking. I took a few seminars. I pretty much am self-educated. That being said, I was very careful when it came time to for the editing. This was edited at least 3 different times. The last edit was a deep edit. And the girl I hired was in Louisville. Now she printed it out. She she took a pencil to it. Now I'm expecting somebody to send me the finished file and go bang, I'm published. I'm an author now. But she printed it out, and then I take it home and I'm looking at my manuscript on one screen, looking at her notes. Read a paragraph, read her paragraph, change the notes on my paragraph, read it again. It was extremely tedious work because I wasn't a trained, educated, get it right the first time author. That being said, I said, Joni, why did you do it that way? She says, I wanted to put 2 reasons. She wanted to put me back in touch with my story, and she wanted me to make the final decisions. And some of them, didn't have to be changed, and some of them were stupid things. Then I turned around and had a final proof done, professional format. So I went way out of my way to have a professional product. And I'm very proud of it. It's well packaged. The artwork was another category. I was very pleased with all that stuff.
Right. Wow. Well, I'm grateful for that, and I'm so glad that you shared that information. Of course, they may, in fact, tap you on the shoulder one day and say, you know what, Paul, I really appreciate what you've done. I appreciate and kind of am familiar with where you've been and where you are. But if one of those individuals that you're inspiring today tap you on the shoulder and said, I love what you've done and where you are, but what's next for Paul Hopp? What would your response be to that?
Well, again, I enjoy it. It's a different approach. It certainly takes you to places you haven't been before. I say it's a combination of deliverance, misery, and phenomenon. And when I make the phenomenon reference, I'm thinking of John Travolta laying there looking up at the trees, where he's actually in his mind probably talking to them. There's a high fact of nature in this. The one phrase was towards the end. One of the last things I wrote was, "Listen to the wind, listen to the trees, listen to your heart." It's that kind of a message. There's one chapter, "The Power of the Universe," which all these feelings come to heart, and the guy drops to his knees and just starts crying, and he's feeling things, and so it's a different approach. But as far as people wanting to talk about it, if they email me, if they reach out to me, they'd probably, we'd probably be on the phone having a cup of coffee,
Huh?
and it's something I enjoy doing. I know where I came from. I know how much I had to grow to do something on this professional of a level, and being somewhat of a layman author that I am, I want this thing is you won't find any mistakes. Stephen King would be proud. There's two
Wow.
or three mistakes in his book. So as far as somebody reaching out to me, there's all kinds of writers clubs and writers groups, and writers love to talk about their work,
Right. Well,
as I obviously do too.
well, that's a blessing and in itself, and of course, you have to be in that position, and you have to feel that way in order to allow other individuals to recognize your work and to show their support for you. Now, I gotta say this. I really appreciate you taking time out to be here with us today. I appreciate you allowing us to be one of your platforms that you have become a part of here at the GMAP Broadcast Network. And I also appreciate you allowing us to be a part of your journey. I just can't thank you enough for just doing those things. And of course, allowing us to help you disseminate this information around the world and share it with viewers and listeners in every country. I tell you, we're in over, oh my goodness, I believe it's 132 countries. I didn't even know it was that many countries out there. But I tell you, I am so grateful for that. And of course, we want you to know something that if there is anything that we can do to continue to assist you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, we want you to simply pick up the phone, give us a call, text, chat, tweet, whatever you do. We want you to connect with us, and we want you to know that the answer will always be yes, and you will never have to ask us twice. Of course, if for those that don't know now, Paul Hopp is one of our featured authors here at the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. All you have to do is simply stop by our platform, click on the tab that simply says Featured Authors. You'll see a copy of the publication there. He's showing it in the background. You'll see a copy of the publication there. Click on it. It will take you to the necessary location to find out more information and details about the author as well as the publication. Now, you know what I want to do? I want to move over and I want to give you the floor and just allow you to share with our viewers and listeners what's on your heart. So simple. I'm going to move over and I'm going to tell you, Paul Hopp, the floor is yours.
What's on my heart? Any subject I want, Kevin?
Be careful now.
We'll stick with the book. I cut out a couple things here, and I use phrases. This is the tale of two men from two different worlds. One world in perfect harmony, the others from the depths of hell, leading them on an emotional roller coaster ride, searching for their own tranquility while dealing with their individual nightmares and crimes as the world they now share spirals towards devastation. There is the middle section's kind of a chase scene. The FBI is involved. The research was wonderful. Back to upcoming writers researching. I really enjoyed that, and I spoke to some fascinating people, researched some fascinating subjects. Some things, one thing in particular was a little too far fetched to get an answer, but it's a different point of view. Here's a few more clips. Placing you inside the minds of both killer and victim leaves no mystery as to what's upcoming. The mystery lies within the reason and lessons from their thoughts and actions. So again, at the beginning of this, you kind of know what's going on because you're sharing their thoughts. You're by the way, I wrote this book in second person. So I took it to heart. I wrote one of the latter chapters. I wrote in first person, and the things coming out of off my fingers, things I was actually thinking and saying. It was like I was. It was strange. It was a different perspective to say as I sat there wondering, that type of thing. But it really is a trip down a different type of lane. You get past that opening section, and you get into the reality section, and all of a sudden I take you someplace real different, something you never expected. And it is about a higher power. And a lot of it is energy based. The guy that did the first edit for me said, I can tell you grew up Catholic, which I did, but I'm not preaching. There's some references to the Bible, there's some references to suicide, stuff like that the Catholic Church teaches. Towards the end, one of my readers said it's kind of a Muslim or a Buddhist thing, which I know very little about, but it is deal a lot about energy. As far as I'm concerned, your soul is energy, and when you pass, your soul leaves your body, and I don't know if you've ever kissed a dead person goodbye or not, but it's like kissing a mannequin. I said goodbye to my mom, and it disturbed me. I thought, I don't want to do that again, but I kissed her goodbye, and I realized at that point, that's not my mom anymore. That's just a shell. So there's feelings like that in the book, but I did try hard not to preach. I did make references about the higher powers, which basically is the moral of the whole story. How's it go? I like to joke and say, I probably already read that. It's a story of redemption, of an inner peace influenced by a higher power, the higher power available to each and all of us. And overall, you read this thing and you won't judge people like you do. At least I wouldn't. Most people don't. You kind of got to look at things a little bit differently and go, why is that person so hateful? Why are they so spiteful? What can I? Sometimes the first thing you say sets the pace, but and sometimes you're never going to figure it out. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be enjoyed, type of thing. So you're never going to have all the answers, and you don't have to beat your brains out trying to figure them out. You'll get the answers in the end, and that's my belief, and that's what I'm rolling with.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I tell you,
right.
I tell you, man. And again, I appreciate you sharing that and being here with us today. And of course, I just want you guys to know that are tuned in today and or checking out the rebroadcast. When you decide to show your love, care, concern, and support, be sure if you do it through Amazon, leave a review. Leave a review. That is so important for the author, so important for Amazon, and as well as important for me. We need you to leave a review just to let the author know that you appreciate what they're doing and continue to move forward. I want you to know, Paul, we are going to be inviting you back soon to hear more about what you're doing and more about what's yet to come. We want you to know that we appreciate you being here today. And of course, I know that our viewers and listeners appreciate you sharing this awesome publication with them. And I'm sure they're going to be going out and purchasing and showing their love, care, concern, and support for you. Listen, I once again want to let you know that we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you becoming a part of the GMAP Broadcast Network family and allowing us also to be a part of your journey. We want you to keep doing what you're doing. We want you to stay in contact with us. And we want the viewers and listeners to know that if you missed this in any way, shape, form, or fashion, it's going to be on our YouTube channel, on Facebook. We're going to air it on our television platform. We're going to do everything we can to get this information out to the eyes and ears of the people, and keep an eye out on our broadcast schedule, because he will be back and he will be sharing some great information with you in the very near future. Until then, we want you to continue, Paul, to be blessed and be a blessing to others as we do what we have to do and get back to more music here on the number one faith-based motivational and inspirational broadcast platform in the country, the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. I look forward to talking with you again soon. Until then, we want you to simply be blessed and be a blessing, okay?
I feel it, Kevin. I feel it. I share your sentiments. I appreciate your program, and yeah, I look forward to coming back.
Hey, well, you should. I tell you, we're going to do everything we can to make sure you do come back. You have a wonderful.
When I come back, we can talk about how this is going to be a movie.
You know what? I claim it, and I claim it. It is going to be a movie. All you have to do is dive in and begin the process. I'm claiming that for you, and I'm claiming it for me. So I want you to tag me there somewhere and say a special thanks to Kevin for knowing that it was going to be a movie. We thank you, Paul. We appreciate you, man, and we look forward to talking with you again very soon. I'll get in touch with you, okay?
All right, buddy, and I'll see if I can get you a cameo spot in the movie.
Well, you know what? I'm looking forward to it. I tell you, I'm looking forward to it. You have a great afternoon, man, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.